Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to do another collaboration beer. This was one of the small portiers that came through Systembolaget recently. This one is half English, half Norwegian. It's brewed in England at Buxton Brewery in Derbyshire, and it's a collaboration beer with Lervig Aktiebyrggeri, who are from Stavanger in Norway. This one is called Trolltunga and it's a Gooseberry sour IPA. It comes in at 6.3% and it's rated quite highly on Rate Beer as well. It was well into the 90s when I checked out. I think it was 92 or 93 that it was sitting at. So this one should be a pretty damn awesome beer, but it's described on Rate Beer as being a sour ale or wild ale. So if you like those kind of beers, I'm sure you'll like this one, because both breweries involved here make some pretty awesome stuff. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the breweries involved here. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery websites, the link to my other reviews, both from Buxton and from Lervig, so make sure you check them out. But only my second review from both of them actually, but there is all the usual social media down there. Make sure you check that out, and if you do want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. And as always, to those of you in Norway and in England, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. Let me know your favourite beers from both of these breweries as well. So first off, to Lervig Aktiebyrggeri. So like I said, Lervig Aktiebyrggeri are based in Stavanger in southwestern Norway. Of course, that's the main oil hub for Norway these days. But Lervig Aktiebyrggeri was founded in 2003 after the Tohu brewery in the city was sold to Carlsberg and production was subsequently moved down to Oslo. But for a while the beers were produced at Mack Ølbryggeri in Tromsø. However, production was then moved to Hilevåg in Stavanger in 2005. Now the head brewer for Lervig Aktiebyrggeri is Mike Murphy, and he's been there since around 2010. And prior to this the brewery were making many kind of light lagers, but Mike was the one who really drove them more towards making the American style craft beers, and they've done very well since this move actually. But Mike apparently played quite an important role in the Danish craft beer revolution, and as a result of this, he's collaborated with several renowned brewers such as Mikkel Bjergsø of Mikkeller, Jeppe Bjergsø of Evil Twin, Sean Hill and Andreas Kiesmeyer. He's worked with many people that are very well known in the kind of now thriving Danish craft beer scene. And he also worked for Birra del Borgo in Italy for a while, one of the premier craft breweries down there. But these guys have done very well recently. You're seeing their beers distributed far and wide these days. I think you can get them in Australia actually. I think that was where I tried my first Lervig beer. So they're all over the place now. They produce some pretty awesome stuff. So Lervig Aktiebyrggeri is one that you really want to check out. I need to review some more of their beers myself. But anyway, on to Buxton Brewery now. So as you may guess from the name, Buxton Brewery is based in Buxton, which is a spa town in Derbyshire in England. And the brewery was founded by Jeff Quinn in 2010, and it's actually very small. They only have 5 people working there. But the local area is known as the Peak District, and it's famed for its water, which has been revered since Roman times. They actually named the town Aqua Artenate, which translates to the waters of the goddess of spring. And most of the beers are actually named after local geographical and geological features, I guess you would say, as well, around the Buxton area. And the tower that's actually depicted on most of the Buxton labels is actually is called Solomon's Temple, or a Grinlo Tower, which was apparently a folly tower built for decoration in the town. But the Buxton beers have won many accolades recently, and the brewery has been consistently ranked in the top 100 brewers by Rate Beer. Of course, a very good accolade among those of you who know your craft beer. But at full capacity they can produce 60,000 litres of beer per month, and their beers are now exported to over 20 different countries worldwide. So Buxton Brewery are probably one of the best known English craft breweries these days, and from what I hear they do produce some pretty awesome stuff. I need to do a dedicated Buxton review because this is only my second one from them, and it's another collaboration beer, so I do need to try some of the dedicated Buxton beers and make a dedicated Buxton review, I should say, for you at some point soon. But this beer should be very interesting. This one is brewed in Buxton in England. So yeah, as you may have guessed with this one is named after Trolltunga, which is a rock. It says on the side here, Trolltunga is a jutting rock in Norway hanging 700 metres over Lake Ringedalsvatnet, and only the wary tread the path to the very edge. This beer was brewed to celebrate friendship and a love of wild places. As I said, Buxton like to name a lot of their beers after geographical and geological things, and of course Trolltunga is one of the really cool places. It's a big tourist attraction in Norway, somewhere that I still need to visit for myself. But like I told you at the start of the video, 6.3% Gooseberry Sour IPA. So it should be very, very nice. Best before the 1st of March 2016, and it's quite fresh as well, bottled the 1st of March 2016, and I'm reviewing it for you on the 12th of April. So yeah, this should be a very, very nice beer. So I'll let you have a little look at the artwork on this one before we open it up, and then we can get on with the tasting. Now I don't know if I mentioned it to you in the video so far, but you can see just the nice kind of troll with his tongue out there above that wide ridge. That's a really cool bit of artwork. You can see on the side as well the Lervig Aktiebyrggeri star and also the Buxton Brewery tower too. It's a plain bottle cap on this one, of course, and there's the text and stuff that I just read to you a minute ago. But as I was saying, I don't know if I told you before, but I really do love gooseberries, and that's what really made me get this beer actually, because I love the gooseberry ciders that are quite popular here in Sweden. But as you can see, it's a nice smoky opening on this one, and you can really smell the gooseberries off this as you open it up. It smells very, very nice. It's really bright as well for an IPA actually. It's more the kind of colour you would expect of a pale ale normally, but it looks very, very good. But you can smell some of the nice hoppy characters off this one. That beer smells really, really nice. So as you can see, this beer is poured a nice, actually kind of hazy, bright yellow colour. It's almost a lemony colour actually. There's some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, but quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of that head there. And there's a solid finger of a quite bumpy white head actually. It's not too frothy, but it is quite bumpy. So it looks very nice. As you can see, if I put my fingers behind it, there is a degree of transparency, but you can see that the beer is actually quite opaque. So yeah, it looks very nice. So let's have a look at the aroma here. Yeah, so without even sugaring it up or anything like that, the first thing you're going to notice is the gooseberries. The gooseberries have a very, very distinct aroma, and you can really pick that up right away in this one. You can smell a little bit of the kind of tart and sharp character that you would expect when this one is supposed to be a kind of sour beer, but it smells really nice. Those gooseberries just smell absolutely beautiful. One of the things actually that you can get in Sweden that I love is you get a recorder like cider that is gooseberries, and that's one of the nicest of these kind of Swedish sweet ciders that you get for me. It's really, really nice. But when you sugar this beer up more, you start to get a bit more complexity to the fruit. There's maybe a little bit of orange in there and a little bit of tropical fruit as well, but the gooseberries remain dominant in this one. You get gooseberries, of course, you get a little bit of that from the Citra hop, and I think the Equinox hop is another one that kind of brings out the gooseberries. I may be mistaken on that, but I always remember Punk IPA, Brewdog's beer, having some gooseberries in it, and that was due to the Equinox hop from what I remember. But you can really smell these nice sweet gooseberries in there. Underneath as well, you can start to pick up a little bit of the malt base. There's a bit of a pale malt and kind of bready thing going on in this one. But yeah, this beer smells really nice. If you like gooseberries, just savour the aroma of this one a little bit before you try it. But as I say, gooseberries dominating the aroma, a little bit of a kind of orangey character. You can pick up some of the sharp, almost tart lemon thing from the sour side of the beer. Maybe there's a little bit of tropical fruit too, some grassiness, maybe some sort of apple peary character as well. And when you sugar it up a bit more, you can pick up the bready malt base, the kind of pale malt character from this one. But overall, it smells really, really nice. So yeah, without further ado then, let's get stuck into this beer. So this is the Trolltunga, comes in at 6.3%, a gooseberry sour IPA brewed at Buxton Brewery in England in collaboration with Lervig Aktiebyrggeri from Stavanger in southwestern Norway. Skål! Oh yeah. Now, on first sip, this is what you always get from these kind of sour IPAs. You have that really sharp, kind of lemony, tart character that just rushes in, and it just kind of engulfs the edge of your tongue. It's really sharp and very, very tart, but once the flavour subsides, you start to pick up these gooseberry notes, and you can feel them coming out in the aftertaste actually. It's really quite nicely done. Yeah, you wouldn't expect anything less of either of these breweries. This is a very kind of full flavoured beer. Not malty at all actually. It really does lean more towards this kind of sour wild ale sort of thing, and it's really nice actually. It took me a little while to get into the idea of this style. I was never really that keen on sour beers, but recently I've started to appreciate them a lot more since I've tried more of them actually. But yeah, that's nice. So as I said, the malt base in this one is really, it's almost just not there. It's very, very subdued, I would say. If anything, there's just a little bit of pale malt, maybe a little bit of bready character across the middle of the tongue, but the edge of your palate is just engulfed with these sharp, tart, lemony flavours that you expect from wild ales, sour beers sort of thing. It's really nicely done. The juicy character from the gooseberry starts to come out more in the aftertaste, and you can feel the mouthfeel of the beer just getting that little bit wetter as you go on. There's perhaps a little bit of a kind of apple-y or peary ester in this one, and it complements the gooseberries quite well. I'm not picking up the kind of slightly more citric and tropical fruit thing. You can pick up a little bit of that in the aroma, but it's not actually in the taste of the beer too much. Well, in fairness, if you pay attention just to the little bit of your tongue behind the very front curve there, you'll feel that little oily bubble, and you can pick up a little bit of that kind of oily, slightly orangey kind of citrus character. Actually, you can pick up a little bit of that behind the front of the tongue, but it's very minimal. It's very kind of minimal, I would say, and it's kind of subdued quite a lot by the sour character of the beer. So if you want to pick that out, just pay attention to that little oily bubble that forms behind the very front curve of the tongue. Yeah, there's definitely just a little bit of an orangey, citrusy character coming out there. Maybe a little bit of a smoother kind of tropical fruit, and that makes me think there's perhaps some Citra or maybe some Equinox hop in there. You're getting these more oily, fruity characters just backing this one up. There's perhaps a little bit of a kind of floral or maybe resinous character, but again, that's very minimal. For me, the flavour is dominated by the sour aspects, and the gooseberries really start to come out with a more juicy and wet mouthfeel later on. The beer is quite dry itself, but then it just wettens, it becomes a little bit more wet as you drink more and more of it, but it's very nicely done. If you enjoy sour beers and you like gooseberries, then this beer is made for you. It's really well done. And as I say, with the two breweries involved here, you wouldn't expect anything less. Buxton, if I remember correctly, do have a bit of a reputation for producing some pretty awesome sour beers, so I need to do some dedicated reviews to them, like I say, but this is really, really nice. Just around the edges of the palate too, as the flavour is progressing in my mouth, I can pick up just a little bit of a slightly floral, aromatic character, maybe some grassiness too, and some, maybe just a little bit of resin, but again, that's very minimal, but more of the hoppy character starts to come out later in the aftertaste as your mouth fully adjusts to this beer. But overall, it's very, very nicely done. If you, as I say, if you enjoy your sour beers and you like gooseberries, then this is one that I think you will enjoy. And it's quite cool because you've got the nice, smooth, kind of juicy, hoppy character that Lervig are known for, and then you've got the kind of sour character from the Buxton beers that they're very well renowned for too. So I'm sure you'll enjoy this beer. But yeah, in terms of the mouthfeel for this one, I would say light to mid-bodied. I think it's a little bit heavier than that, but the sour beer character in this one is really quite sharp, and it makes the beer feel just that little bit lighter. I always find that sour beers for me come out very light, but of course those of you, palates, everyone's palate is different, so you might find it a little bit heavier than that, or those of you who are more into your sour beers, of course. But it's light to mid-bodied. There's a good kind of smooth malt base to it. The malt base, like I said, is very minimal. It's got a little bit of oily character, and that helps bring out some of those fruity, kind of juicy characters like I was saying, and it helps the hops progress later into the flavour of the beer. But overall, for me, the palate is dominated by these kind of sharp, tart characters from the sour wild ale kind of characteristics of the beer. But overall, it's very nice. The carbonation is moderate, it's nicely done, and it's a nice kind of easy drinking beer actually, but you would have to appreciate sour beers to fully enjoy this one. And like I say, for people like me who enjoy gooseberries, this is a really quite nice beer. So I would recommend that you check it out for yourself. I'm not sure how likely you are to find this one, but I've seen on Rate Beer there's ratings from quite a few different countries. So if you come across it and you enjoy sour beers and gooseberries, I would recommend that you try this out. This one really makes me want to try more of the Buxton beers and more of the Lervig ones too. So hopefully I can do that for you in the near future. But yeah, as always, I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. Go and check out the Trolltunga beer from Buxton and from Lervig Aktiebyrggeri. Really enjoyable beer. If you appreciate sour beers and gooseberries, like I said, you will enjoy this one. And both breweries have quite rightly a very good reputation, in my opinion. So yeah, as always, let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your favourite beers from Lervig and from Buxton Brewery. It would be really interesting to hear what ones you guys enjoy, and hopefully I can review them for you in the near future. And do let me know some other English and Norwegian beers that you'd like to see me review, and also some other sour beer recommendations would be interesting too. But until the next time, Sláinte just now, and I will catch you soon with more beer reviews. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Go and check out Trolltunga from Buxton Brewery and Lervig Aktiebyrggeri. Sláinte just now.